What if the thing that's making you miserable is the same thing that makes you intelligent? The smarter you are, the harder it can become to simply live in the moment. You're at a dinner party. Your friend tells a joke. Everyone laughs. But your brain doesn't just hear the joke. It watches who laughed the hardest. It notices who didn't laugh. It wonders if your laugh sounded fake. It wonders if people think you're awkward. And suddenly, you're not at the party anymore. You're trapped inside your own head, watching yourself at the party instead of living it. If you've ever replayed conversations at 2 a.m., if you've ever overanalyzed a text message, if you've ever felt exhausted just from thinking, then this is for you. Because what feels like intelligence might actually be your brain stuck in a trap. And today, I'm going to show you exactly what that trap is and how to escape it. Your brain has a built-in monitoring system. Normally, it's useful. It helps you learn from mistakes. It helps you reflect. It helps you improve. But sometimes the system gets stuck. Instead of experiencing life, you start watching yourself experience life. You stop simply talking, now you're watching yourself talk. You stop simply living, now you're watching yourself live. And the more you watch, the harder it becomes to be present. Here's the strange part. Many intelligent people mistake this for a strength. Because being observant helps you understand people. It helps you notice details. It helps you avoid mistakes. But eventually, the watcher becomes stronger than the person actually living. Think about it. You've probably noticed this yourself. You're in a meeting at work or with family, and instead of being there, part of you is watching from above, analyzing the energy, reading facial expressions, making sure nothing goes wrong. And that's where the trap begins. Let me prove something in 10 seconds. Don't think about your breathing. Seriously, don't think about it. Too late. The moment I mentioned it, you became aware of it. And now it's harder to ignore. That's exactly how overthinking works. Awareness is useful. Self-awareness is useful. But too much awareness creates a problem. Think about walking. Normally, you don't think about every step. You just walk. But if you suddenly start analyzing every movement, left foot, right foot, balance, posture, you become awkward. You might even stumble. The same thing happens socially. You start wondering, am I talking too much? Do I sound confident? Did that joke land? Do they like me? Now your brain is trying to monitor and perform at the same time, and that's exhausting. Quick question, have you ever spent hours replaying a conversation while the other person probably forgot it within 5 minutes? That's the trap. Or worse, you text someone and immediately start analyzing the tone. Did it sound friendly enough, too casual, too formal? And they reply 20 minutes later with, okay, cool, and your brain goes into overdrive. What does okay, cool mean? Does that sound annoyed? Meanwhile, they were probably just making dinner and didn't think twice about it. Living this way comes with a cost. First, your brain gets tired. Not because life is hard, because you're mentally reviewing everything, every conversation, every decision, every interaction. Second, making choices becomes difficult. When you can see every possible outcome, every choice feels risky. Even simple decisions become overwhelming. And third, you stop fully living. You're at the beach, but instead of enjoying it, you're wondering whether you're enjoying it enough. You're having a conversation, but you're monitoring yourself instead of listening. You're physically present, but mentally, you're somewhere else. And over time, that becomes lonely. Here's what's really happening in that moment at the beach. You're not just thinking about whether you're happy. You're thinking about whether you should be happy, whether you're enjoying it the right way, whether other people around you are happier than you are. So instead of feeling the sun and the sand, you're lost in a comparison game with yourself. And that's the real cost. This didn't happen by accident. For some people, it's simply how their brains work. You naturally think deeply. You notice patterns. You pay attention. But life can strengthen this habit too. Maybe you grew up constantly reading the mood of a parent before speaking. Maybe you learned to scan every room before relaxing. Maybe you were judged often enough that your brain decided, watch everything, stay alert, don't get caught off guard. So your brain created a survival strategy. Watch everything, predict everything, stay ahead of every problem. And at first, it worked. But now the same trying to prevent. Here's the weird part. The better you become at analyzing life, the worse you become at experiencing it. And this is the tragedy. Your brain was trying to protect you. It learned this habit because it once saved you from pain, from embarrassment, from being caught off guard. So it's not broken, it's overprotective, like a security system that's on alert even when the danger passed. Here's the realization that changes everything. The thing watching your thoughts isn't separate from you. It's you. You're watching yourself suffer from watching yourself. That's why so many overthinkers stay stuck, because they try to solve overthinking by thinking more. They analyze the analysis. They judge the judgment. They watch the watcher, and the loop never ends. The thinking mind cannot think its way out of excessive thinking. Something different has to happen. So here's the question you need to ask yourself right now. How many times have you tried to logic your way out of overthinking? How many times did that actually work? Probably never, because thinking about thinking is still thinking. The solution isn't in your head, it's somewhere else. 3 ways to turn off the watcher. Way number 1, return to your senses. The next time you're in a conversation and catch yourself analyzing every word, stop. Feel your feet touching the floor. Notice the temperature of the room. Listen to the sounds around you. Focus on the actual experience. The goal isn't to think less, the goal is to experience more. Way number 2, stop judging the thoughts. Most people don't just think, they judge themselves for thinking. I'm overthinking again. Why am I like this? That creates another layer of suffering. Instead, try this. My brain is thinking. Interesting. That's what brains do. Notice it. Without fighting it, without judging it. The loop immediately loses power. Way number 3, let yourself be imperfect. This is the hardest one. Most overthinkers secretly believe they must perform perfectly. Say the right thing, make the right choice, avoid mistakes. But perfection keeps the watcher alive. So try something different. Let yourself be awkward. Let yourself make mistakes. Let yourself be human. Because every time you survive imperfection, your brain learns that constant monitoring isn't necessary. Your awareness is not broken. In fact, it's one of your greatest strengths. The problem isn't that you're aware. The problem is that your awareness got stuck watching itself. And the goal isn't to destroy that ability, it's to learn when to use it and when to let it rest. You don't need to get rid of your intelligence. You don't need to stop thinking deeply. You just need to know when to turn it off. And that's a skill you can learn. If you saw yourself in this video, comment one word, watcher. And if you want more videos that help you understand your mind and take back control of it, subscribe. Because the most fascinating place you'll ever explore isn't the world around you. It's the one inside your own head. I'll see you in the next video.